What up, gangsters? Ignore the very horrific shirt I'm wearing. It was just one that looked comfy. So I threw it on. Anyways, yes, I am alive. Yes, I'm gonna be okay. Taking space to balance myself after everything that has occurred. I'm just feeling very off balance and anxious and got some shit to deal with, bro. Anyways, in all of this time that I'm spending by myself, I've watched, you guessed it, another documentary that kind of like hit home for me. It's called Victim/Suspect. It's on Netflix. It's basically about this series of women that were sexually assaulted. And when they made their police reports, they became the suspect for falsifying the sexual assault. It actually gets really crazy, right? These people, these women, they end up going to jail. And then this one reporter, God bless her soul, because she has shined a spotlight on a nationwide issue in our country that I don't think anybody really truly has in such a manner. It's actually a really astounding documentary. She starts going through all the interviews and all of the evidence and everything, going as far as like suing sheriff's offices and stuff for records that should be public that they won't release, and getting them and helping these women like piece together like how any of this ever happened the way that it did. And it's such an unfair fucking thing. This is where I'm connected to this, right? Like I just almost automatically like felt connected to this documentary. Because, as most people know, I've been sexually assaulted more than once in my life. I am a survivor of child sexual abuse and early teenage sexual assault. I've been assaulted more times than I'd ever like to actually talk about. Anyways, this last time, 3 years ago, when I was assaulted by my best friend, right? Because I was looking out for him because he was drunk and I didn't want him to drive home, so I let him crash in my bed like he had done 100 gazillion other times. My child was in the bed. It wasn't anything new that we had never done before. We are not like, we were never sexually like anything, right? And it was just pajamas. You sleep way over there, I sleep way over here with my kid. We wake up in the morning and we fucking go about our day, right? However, after I'd reported my sexual assault and did my SA kit and everything at the hospital, my detective reached out and asked me to come in, right, to have an interview. Typical protocol, I think. I don't know, because I'd never had a chance or never did report any of my other instances. So always kind of just like swept under the rug. So I'm already nervous about going in because I'm already fucking like traumatized and fucked up by what even occurred, right? I've got ring footage of me running out of my house, freaking the fuck out, and this guy running out and then like leaving the scene and shit like that, right? There wasn't really a lot to, or at least from my opinion, discredit. I didn't ever switch up my story. It was always very, very consistent. However, when I went into my interview, sorry, I thought my thing stopped recording. When I went into my interview with my detective, I was supposed to have an advocate with me present during the interview. Didn't happen. They didn't bother getting her, right? First fucked up thing. And then during my interview, I'm actually the one that got put on the hot seat. Like I had done something wrong. The lecturing I got from this male detective that is supposed to be protecting me and taking care of me and whatever. He starts asking me all kinds of questions like, well, what were you wearing? Were you being promiscuous? Did you lead him on? And I'm like, what in the actual fuck are you talking about? We literally were out eating dinner. He got drunk. And I said, I'm going to drive your car home because I've had like plenty of water and I did not get shit-faced. I was a little bit buzzed. That was it. Like, I'm going to drive us to my house and you can just crash until you sober up, because I do not want you to hurt yourself and I do not want you to hurt anybody else, right? We get to my house. I go put on oversized sweats and a black Star Wars oversized t-shirt. And then all my kids are in my room and we're watching a movie and we are like eating popcorn, really just throwing it at each other. Right. And then I'm like, okay, everybody needs to go to bed. I need to go to sleep. I'm exhausted. This guy needs to sober the fuck up. And we just go to fucking sleep, right? There's nothing that could ever possibly be misconstrued as me leading this guy on in this situation. It's chaotic, but this guy makes me feel like what has happened is something that I've done, and then starts to lecture me about having guy friends, because I need to know that there is no guy in the entire world that will just be your friend. There's always a fucking underlying like intention, and you're never safe, and you're like, basically he just said I was stupid for trusting guys to be my friend. Again, like kind of trying to like victim blame. Anyways, this documentary goes like full into it, and these women's lives have been affected in such a massive way. And these police officers and these sheriffs, they won't even talk about it. And it's insanity to me, because I think this happens so often that so many women, they actually get scared to even report when they're sexually assaulted because of it. Because God forbid you get victim blamed, or even worse, God forbid your case go to the DA. Mine did. And then you have to go sit on a stand and have the defense attorney like just a defense attorney totally shred your character and question you the way I was questioned. I can only imagine, given my interview and how that went, what happens when a defense attorney gets to just like rip into your character and like break you down, right? I was semi-fortunate because my DA knew I had PTSD from it, what had happened, and didn't want me to go on stand. But double-edged sword to that, this dude just walked on a misdemeanor, right? There's something really wrong with our judicial system and the way we treat other, and it's not even just women, men get sexually assaulted too. Hi. Like, people should be worried about this. The fact that if you get assaulted and you rely on the people that you were raised to trust that will protect you, they're not really about it. They want to close out their cases. They don't really give a fuck. They may or may not arrest you if for whatever reason your story changes at all. Thank fucking God. I was so sober that like I knew exactly what had happened. In fact, I was actually terrified because I had woken up to being sexually assaulted, but my anxiety disorder made me play dead. Like, I pretended like I was sleeping. I did not move, and I just prayed to fucking God that my youngest son, who was in the bed when this was happening, would move so that I could act like, boom. And he did. And that's how I got out. Make it make sense. It's just wild. We have to do better at protecting people. I don't get it. It shouldn't be that fucking hard. You shouldn't have to go through hell and back to get any sort of justice when you're hurt. I do get that there is false reporting out there and it ruins lives. But you know what else ruins lives? Being an actual victim of sexual assault that isn't heard, that isn't protected, or, as this documentary shows, gets arrested for their own victimization. Like, I'm sorry, what? Anyways, I just wanted to take a second to talk about that. I think it's something we need to talk about more. It's always going to be a big part of my heart and wanting to spread awareness on the subject because, hey, none of it's fucking okay. Anyways, thought on a Monday night. I'm going back to being invisible. Bye.